Serious news regarding Heat star Chris Bosh.
Forward Chris Bosh is out indefinitely,
being treated for a possible blood clot.
If not caught in time, it could have been fatal for Chris.
Chris is heavy on our hearts, no doubt about it.
Bosh received thousands of get-well wishes from fans all over the world.
So many people that cared to check on me, and that meant a lot to me.
I want to thank each and every one of you. I truly am standing here because of you guys.
I'm able to play the game that I love again.
I know things can be difficult, but I would rather be doing that than have tubes in my chest.
My love for the game has just been refreshed.
I can run around, I can jump around, and I'm healthy, and that's all that matters.
Quick mic check, Chris.
Also tonight, a health scare sidelining a Heat All-Star.
Bosh has 2 NBA titles, but now a life-threatening illness is putting his career in jeopardy.
Bosh has been playing banged up, specifically nursing pain in his side.
Bosh downplaying the injury all during All-Star weekend.
And with the diagnosis yet to be determined, Bosh's teammates obviously are very concerned.
Started to feel some tightness in my rib cage around I think mid-January, second week of January, somewhere in there. Didn't really think anything of it. A week or two later, I began to start having really bad pains in the rib area, a lot of muscle trembling. It felt like bad cramping in my ribs. Didn't pay much attention to it, and after that, I began to have the shortness of breath. Felt like my left lung was just restricted, which come to find out I had kind of a collapsed lung, so to speak. I played a few games with that. And then when I played the All-Star game and when I got back, Dwayne and I, we took our wives out to Haiti, and that's when things really took a turn for the worse for me. I had debilitating pain. I couldn't really move. I was just in pain. So we came back and I went to the doctor, and that's when they told me that I had blood clots in my lungs.
All-Star forward Chris Bosh is in a Miami hospital. The Heat have not said why he's there exactly, but there are reports that Bosh may have a chest or lung issue, and it could be serious. We'll, of course, keep you updated as soon as we get more information.
You listen to the doctor say things, but it doesn't make any sense. So, you know, at the time, I've heard of blood clots all the time, and he told me that, and I'm like, well, okay, but what does that mean? And then he begins to explain what those things mean, and you're just kind of in shock. I mean, I was by myself. You know, I'm like, okay, what am I gonna tell my wife? What does this mean? The team doesn't even know right now. What does this mean for me? You know, am I gonna live? You know, it's just a bunch of different things go through your mind, and it's scary. You know, it really got scary for me. You know, the nose oxygen things that they put in your nose, they put that in my nose, and that's when things got, kind of got real a little bit for me, because I didn't want to do it, but I had to, because my body wasn't getting enough oxygen, so I had to have the oxygen tank on me 24 hours a day. There wasn't much time that I could be without it.
Now reports say that Bosh possibly could have a blood clot on his lung.
According to the Miami Herald, the Heat could announce today whether Chris Bosh will be forced to miss the remainder of the season.
The scariest thing is just like me leaving my kids, you know, not being able to be there for my children. I think about that, and for my family and my wife, and then after that, okay, I'm going to be okay, but am I going to be able to play basketball again? That was a possibility. They kind of told me if it's hereditary, that's a problem. You know, you can't be on blood thinners and play basketball like that. So that's when things kind of really took a turn in my mind, just thinking about if I'm going to be able to even play the game that I love again. And, you know, I just had to sit there with my thoughts until they got the results back, which it was days. So I had quite a time just sitting there with my thoughts and trying to stay upbeat the whole time.
The big man, Chris Bosh, the Heat announced over the weekend, unfortunately, that he is officially out for the rest of this season.
Bosh is undergoing treatment for blood clots and, of course, is out for the season.
They told me that, of course, my season was over, but I had time to really fight for my life. And I had to get oxygen intake. I had to start, taking blood thinners, and I had to begin the whole process. And I wasn't out the woods for another 24 to 36 hours.
All right, some good news on Chris Bosh. The Miami Heat expect Bosh to get released from the hospital soon. The bad news, Bosh is out for the rest of the season, still recovering from blood clots in his lungs. We wish him well.
And then when I finally got home, I couldn't do anything. I mean, I think I was home for about 4 days before I began walking. And even when I started walking, I could only go a few hundred feet. I had to turn around and go back home. So it was kind of like starting from ground zero a little bit. I couldn't play with my kids. I couldn't move. I couldn't pick them up. I just sat on the couch every day and, go for walks every day. And that's really all that I did. It was kind of depressing a little bit because that had never happened to me before. But, just a game of basketball gave me a different appreciation for it. Just not having the game and not being able to express myself like I have a chance to do on the court every night. It was quite a wake-up call.
Yesterday, we were on such a high with the Goran Dragic trade. We thought, okay, this could be the thing that catapults the Heat forward. Now this news about Chris Bosh.
Chris Bosh done for the season. Without him, can the Heat still salvage this season?
Tough one for your Miami Heat. They really take it on the chin tonight.
I watched the guys play while I was in the hospital. I think they played like 3 games. And, just watching the games, I'm like, man, you automatically, as a basketball player, you put yourself in a position where you can help guys. And I couldn't do that. So I had to learn to let it go because there was nothing I could do.
His life altered. His body now weakened. His love now stripped. His thoughts drifted. Suddenly burdened by his absence from a team fighting off danger in their own right, cynically, a playoff spot. On the other hand, his team's thoughts, prayers, and attention were all centered on Chris's condition.
It was horrifying. The last time I saw Chris was the New York game. We go on All-Star break. The next time I see him is during the weekend, and he's in a hospital bed with tubes coming out of him. It was an incredibly sobering experience.
And to hear him talk about how the game was taken away from him unexpectedly, and how he watches us go out there and play, and regardless if we're tired or, a little injured or whatever we're going through, he would prefer to be in that situation than to be at home watching. So it put a lot of things in perspective for us.
I was just praying for him and hoping him for the best. It felt different because he sit beside me in the locker room, and it kind of felt empty because he wasn't there.
When I heard that news, I think you pull basketball aside. I think it's selfish to just think of basketball at that time. It's different when it's a sprained ankle. When you have something that's affecting his health and his family, I think that's the main thing. So we were just thankful that he was okay and he's back to, back on his feet and back at home.
When you see a brother like that, a family member, all you're thinking about is everything that doesn't have to do with basketball. And thankfully, obviously, he progressed to get healthier, that was a box that you could check, and it's like, okay, that's number one. And then we weren't even thinking about basketball, and then all of a sudden it gets to the point where, hey, he'll be cleared to play basketball. Then you're just happy for him that he's able to have it all again.
Chris's health scare rippled shockwaves around the NBA, sparking an outpour of concerns for a beloved player. Closer to home, his Heat fans made sure that he knew, even away from the floor, Chris will always be regarded as family.
Earlier today, 10,000 Get Well cards were delivered to Bosh at his house. What a great scene.
What's going on, everybody?
Hey, on behalf of Heat Nation, we're here. We printed up all the Get Well messages you got online and through your social media. We got 10,000 cards here for you, Chris.
Appreciate that.
Hope you got room.
Thank you.
So many people that cared to check on me. I mean, that meant a lot to me because all I could do It was if I was feeling good enough to read messages, I had so many. And I knew I wasn't going to get back to everybody, but just to see how many people cared, that was touching. And that alone helped me get through it. I mean, you know, because there are, of course, I play basketball, but this is something that didn't have to do with basketball. So that kind of put things into perspective for me because, you know, some things are more important, like life.
Chris Bosh back in this building to a standing ovation, all smiles.
His first comments to the public and to his fans since being diagnosed with blood clots.
First of all, I want to thank each and every one of you for all the love, all the support that you have given me and my family. I truly am standing here because of you guys. I'm forever grateful for that. So thank you, and go Heat.
Just to be able to reconnect with the game again and get back in the arena and just get excited about basketball. It was awesome, and I think for me it was therapeutic just being around the guys. You know, it was touching because they were so happy to see me and I was happy to see them, and I couldn't help myself once I was on the sideline. You know, I got into the game so much.
Yes! Dwayne Wade doing it big time in the fourth quarter.
CB loves it. Don't get too excited now, CB. You're rehabbing.
The Heat players have really felt the spirit of Chris Bosh over the last week or so since he's been back with the team.
Chris is a connector, and he's more than just a player that'll produce, which he's done at such a consistently high level, but he's a leader. He understands the moods and temperature of a team. He's a great example for your team. He'll be there for you. You can count on him.
Just to see him up, out of bed, moving around, energy, just thinking about basketball, being in the arena, bringing that spirit, bringing that aura, bringing that leadership, whether it's off the floor or on the floor. We needed that at that time with the things we were going through.
We're having a tough season, a lot of ups and downs, but at the same time, we're fighting to try to get in the playoffs. And, you know, Chris was a fresh face, and a face that, you know, we enjoy seeing coming through them doors. You know, even though he didn't save our season, it's something still that, you know, the guys that was here, you know, still remember.
Just in this video, a great sight at the American Airlines Arena. Chris Bosh working out for the first time since the All-Star break.
Doctors have cleared Bosh to practice without restrictions. It's all good.
My love for the game is just, it's been refreshed. Yeah, I feel like a young guy again. I'm nervous. Yeah, I haven't thought about it much because I just try to always see myself being successful. But yeah, I'll probably be a little nervous, and those feelings are good. I mean, I always think of it as excitement. So, I mean, it's something I haven't felt in a long time. So, you know, I just hope my emotions don't get the best of me. I hope I'm able to stay solid and go out there and do my job.